David, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dan, and I think for the Open tonight, we're coming out shirtless to prove it's not cold in Tampa.
I like
what do you
it.
think?
I like it. If we had a pose-off, though, of analyst at the mothership, who's winning?
Oh, wow. God, there could be a lot of last places. God, I think you've got to put Tebow in that conversation. I guess he's the younger one, and I think all the ladies would probably enjoy that probably the most. And I can think of a lot that they wouldn't enjoy, but Tebow's probably going to be up there pretty high.
Is Tebow in better shape now, or when he was playing?
I don't know. I mean, probably he's playing, but I don't know if he wore. Did he wear this attire? Those shirts that are 10 times too small, and the jeans that are 10 times too small. I guess they're called skinny jeans. Dan, I'm not really a fan of them, but I don't know if his clothes have shrunk or he's gotten bigger. I don't know which one is the case.
He's bigger than you, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit bigger. I'm like 240. I think he's about 250. So he's a little bigger than me.
Oh man, have you ever had broken ribs? Because I haven't heard an update on Jordy Nelson, but just the possibility of broken ribs with that hit yesterday. Can you play with a protective covering around broken ribs?
Yes, you can, and I think receivers probably have more of a chance than linemen when you're taking on collisions every single time. Obviously, after the catch, you'd worry about them, but I think you can protect yourself pretty well. And nowadays, too, they can put these awesome pads on you that are super light that they become basically like steel. I mean, they can really protect you with lightweight stuff that you heat it and it does a good job of protecting. So I would imagine if it is broken ribs that he, as long as he can breathe well, he would be out there because you've seen the Packers offense. Without him, they're not the same. I mean, it's not even close to the same offense.
I saw something yesterday. Bill Simmons on his podcast called out Nick Saban, called him a coward, saying that he should want to coach in the NFL, compete against the best coaches. Which is tougher? Let me start here. Tougher to win national titles in college football or to be a successful NFL coach?
Well, I think you'd have to stipulate where. I don't think it's exceptionally hard to win at Alabama. Like one of the greatest coaches, I think, in college football history is Bill Snyder. Now, he doesn't have any championships because he's at Kansas State, and it's a tougher job. Obviously, Alabama's a great job to have. But also there's NFL. No, there are NFL jobs, too, that are built into to be more successful. Coward is not the word that would come to mind. I think smart's the word that would come to mind because Nick Saban runs the whole Alabama program. So if he's on the practice field, Dan, and he sees there's a blade of grass out of place, he probably just says, hey, get over here, fix this blade of grass. And it happens within at least 6 minutes of him declaring it. I mean, he's got a huge staff off the field. If I was him, I wouldn't go anywhere. I understand it's probably the last thing he has that he hasn't proven he's a great coach in the NFL, but he's won different spots, and he's proven, in my opinion, he's the best college coach to ever do it. And if I was him, I'm not leaving the Alabama Crimson Tide because I have everything at my access to be successful. I'm recruiting 5-star kids every single year. I got a huge staff. I have complete control of everything that goes on at the University of Alabama. Everything happens through Nick. If something's going to be done, it's like, Coach Saban, are we allowed to institute another psychology class? Yeah, okay. All right, we'll do that then. So if I was him, I think it's kind of smart. I don't get that talk from Bill Simmons.
Whose career would you want, Nick Saban's or Bill Belichick?
Well, again, I think Nick could be super successful in the NFL if he had the reins and the control that Belichick has. But, I mean, me personally, I would rather be Nick because I think you have more say and more shaping and molding of a kid when they're a little bit younger.
But do you think whose career is more impressive, Saban or Belichick?
They're the same to me. I think they're both the best at what they do at their level. And actually, I think obviously they come from the same tree because they worked together before Nick, broke off. And I think they're both just as dominant, just in different fields.
We're talking to David Pollack, the analyst for ESPN College Game Day. They got live coverage starting at 2 Eastern on the mothership. Lane Kiffin not being there, bringing in Steve Sarkisian, at least opens up the possibility to second guess if they lose. What do you gain, or what do you gain with Sarkisian that you don't have with Kiffin, or what do you lose with Kiffin that you won't have with Sarkisian?
I think it's a gain and a lose, Dan. I think you gain you gain less distractions than you lose the distractions because Lane he was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The stories that have come out about what he was doing and what he was saying and the stuff that was going on, it's not acceptable. And listen, this is the reason this didn't work was because of Lane Kiffin. This has worked with Kirby Smart last year. This worked with Tom Herman the year before at Ohio State. This worked with Jim McElwain. This process is not something that's not doable. It's obtainable, and you can go forward if everybody's going in the right direction and doing their jobs like they're supposed to. Lane wasn't doing that. And because of that, I think he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I don't think you lose anything. I think it's the best for the program. I think you had to make this decision. I think Sark obviously hadn't called plays since 2014. I get it. I mean, there's going to be a reason to call into question the move right now. But he's also made, he's called national championship games, and he's won national championships, and he has a ton of experience. And I think from what I've heard, this is also something, Dan, they're using for motivation. Yeah. I mean, this is something like, listen, they're saying, they don't believe in you, and this was all Lane, and it's just another layer that Nick gets to go, yeah, we can use this for motivation and try to get the best out of our kids. But I don't see it having any impact on the game. If Lane was here and the way he was doing his business already before, I don't think it would have been successful anyways.
Clemson wins tonight by what? Doing what?
I think their biggest question mark for me is defensively. And I know that sounds weird. I know they're going to score points. And I know this is an all-time great Alabama defense and the numbers and all that it says. But, Dan, I also know that this same defense gave up 43 to Ole Miss. And this defense isn't unbeatable. And you can't – it's not – a defense that's not going to let them score. I think Clemson's going to get theirs. I think Clemson defensively against a true freshman who's 18 years old, can you make him beat you? Can you not cut guys loose? I think one of the best things Washington did was Washington took away all the layups for Jalen Hurts. They didn't let him shoot layups. They made him shoot threes. They made him go through his progression. They didn't cut people loose and give him easy buckets. I mean, they really made him work for everything that he got. And that's what this Clemson defense is going to have to stay. I don't think it's as high scoring as it was a year ago. I think they'll go back and forth, and I think it'll be entertaining, a 31-27 type game.
Can you explain this whole Clemson in the pile stuff? Is that a topic of conversation? Like what is going on here, David? Where we're grabbing the forbidden fruit here in a pile? Can a civilian who's never played the game understand what goes on here?
I don't think so. Now, listen, I'm not. I've been a part of these piles, and I've had things twisted and turned that I don't appreciate. I mean, I'll be completely honest, and I've had my eyes gouged, and I've been punched, and all that good stuff. I've just never seen something like that out in the open so much. I mean, there wasn't a pile. It's kind of like, hey, dog, just wait till this gets a little bit more messy before you do something like that. But I got a kick out of Boulware, trying to defend his boy and coming to his back. You know what, Dan? We've been doing this all year. No big deal. Well, it kind of is, dog. Like, that's kind of gross. So I think it was, you don't want to know what goes on as a civilian inside those piles. It's not something that's always something that we can talk about. So I completely understand the action, but I would prefer not to see that over and over again. So what happens in the pile, it's kind of like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Just keep it in the pile, dog.
Man. But it was so blatant, and then they say, well, it kind of breaks the tension of the game being so serious. I mean, there are other ways that I could break the tension. I don't know about you, David.
I don't know that Curtis Samuel's tension is broken at this point. I think Curtis Samuel would disagree. He's probably feeling a little more tense than he was.
Hey, David, have fun tonight. Great to talk to you again. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Appreciate it, big dog.
All right. That's it. Big dog there. David Pollack.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.